Okay, please hold the palm as usual. Follow me. One bow to the Buddha. You just bow only. First prostration to the Buddha. Okay, second prostration. Okay, third prostration. Okay, one bow to the Buddha again. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, please take a seat. Okay, as usual, before we start the class, we recite the name of Bodhisattva and for around 10 minutes. And please follow me. 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨， 南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨。Please follow me. 南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。南无本师释迦牟尼佛。OK。Okay, good morning, all brothers and sisters. Now, so before we start the class, just remind everybody our next lesson will be on 19th of March. Very easy to remember. Every month of second and first and third Sunday. Okay, first and third Sunday. Now, regardless, we got 4 weeks or 5 weeks for the month. Okay, just remember that. Huh? Now, so before the class, start the class, last lesson, there's a. I think today is not hymn. Today he's not here. Anyway, also want to let everybody know, because they asked me the question. I don't know whether it's our student or, as an observer. He told me that he actually already enlightened. Then he say, how, do people know that he was enlightened? How to justify that he was enlightened? Now, this question asked very funny. I just stunned like that. I don't know how to answer. Now, this is very good to, something to relate to this first chapter, as I highlighted to you all before. The gist for this chapter, the first chapter, just like our Buddha, before we spoken about this sutra, he already became Buddha. Although he became Buddha as a Buddha, it's just like normal people, everything normal, although he already became enlightened one, he still had to eat, he still had to walk, he still had to go for alms begging, he still had to walk, his food, everything. This show that, what do you mean by enlightenment? In short, we are totally free from suffering especially in terms of mentality, 烦恼, right? You get rid of the mental defilement, affliction. Other than that, everything is normal with this physical body. You still have to go to work, you still have to study, you still have to take MRT, bus, taxi, you still need to travel airplane or whatever, you still have to do a lot of volunteer work. Everything is normal. Just remember, this is a very important concept. Everything is normal, nothing special, nothing unique. Just like normal people, you talk, people can understand. You eat, people, same like people, what they are eating. Nothing is special. See, a lot of Buddhists, when I became monk also, I think a lot of Buddhists have a negative mentality. They thought if I became Buddha or if I enlightened the Dharma, I thought you couldn't understand one. I behave very funny one, keep silence, don't talk to people, and so on and so forth. And so on and so forth. So this is wrong concept. Okay? This is according to Diamond Sutra. Not I say one. This is our law of Buddha. He said one, not I say one. Alright? I speak on his behalf. So in Buddhism, regardless, you write a lot of sutra, Lotus Sutra, whatever sutra, alright? Avatamsaka Sutra, Huayan Jing, whatever. But the concept, the understanding, very, very, very important. Now, what is the purpose of reciting the sutra? 念经. Because we recite the sutra, we chant the sutra, because we want to know the meaning of the sutra so that, we can put into practice in our daily life. And this is how you generate wisdom. With the wisdom, we can solve our daily problems. With the wisdom, we can attain liberation, stay away from the suffering. And this is our goal. Everybody study the Buddhism. This is our goal. And this is what Buddha taught us. Not just chanting, spiritual power, medical power appear, then solve your problem. In my Dharma class, when I taught the way to Buddhahood, spiritual power cannot override the karma. Karma means action. Alright, this in Sanskrit word karma. Chinese called ye. Right, English called action. Right, can be mental, physical, verbal. We call it 3 wholesome acts. And basically, we talk about cultivation. To cultivate Dharma is to purify our 3 wholesome acts. And this is called cultivation, 修行. Or purify our mind. Right? Because our mind is not pure. That's why we are full of suffering. Okay? And this is our target. This is our goal of learning, study the Buddhism. Not just chanting, then you're aiming for strike the 4D, or whatever. And this is not our goal. The Buddha intention. Okay? So Buddhism is different from other religions. If you want the spiritual power, you can go to other religion. Alright? You're seeking the help from the God. You're seeking the help from the emperor God. 一王大帝天公. That is Taoism. Right? So Buddhism, besides praying to the Buddha, we pray to the Buddha because we want to show the respect. We want to learn from the Buddha. One day we also want to become Buddha. And this is the intention. So therefore, the student, that one I don't know whether it's a student or our student, but anyway, I told him, I say, you talk about enlightenment, it's very enlightenment, you just how to justify, as I say, you come out the checklist. For instance, if you want to say you attain Arahant, there's a checklist. You must meet certain criteria. Right? Just I want to go to NUS, NTU, just my student yesterday say you want to bring his daughter to NUS to apply what course you want to prefer to study. But you must be able to meet the requirement before you go to NUS, NTU. Right? If you then have the 2A, the main one or whatever, 主修 in Chinese, in NUS, NTU. Then you are not qualified to come in. Just like you must meet the criteria so that you can call yourself Arahat or Buddha. And very simple. Besides talking about this one, then you check yourself, check this. How is your behavior? All right. Are you ready totally get out of affliction, fun now? Or you still very hot temper, hatred, and so on and so forth? Before you call yourself enlightenment. So when you ask this question, it shows that it just probably come from IMH. You see, poor thing, a lot of Buddhists, that's why concept understanding very, very important. You see, in the Eightfold Path, right understanding means wisdom. Because the one will lead you to the right direction, not go to the wrong path. All right? Otherwise, you go to the wrong path. You consider meaningless cultivation, wasting your time. Clear? And this is the purpose of study Buddhism. And you see the first chapter. Everything is so daily life on. Go for alms begging, wash your food, and they tell you the time and space in India. And before Buddha want to kick off the kind of, give a discourse, the teaching to the disciple or to the lay people. Also, the student asked me, he realized that this sutra is just a kind of dialogue between Buddha and Subhuti, and with his disciple. You see, not only that, there are different formats. Some you ask Buddha, like this one, Buddha will tell you. Some you don't ask Buddha, Buddha just tell you the Dharma. There are different ways of, talking about the sutra. This is one of the methods. We call it dialogue, have a dialogue. And because of Subhuti, right, Subhuti, the disciple of Buddha, he asked the question. He just on behalf of us asked the question. We also want to ask this question. And therefore, Buddha answered his question. Then we can know, what is the Dharma, the Buddha teaching? So we should thank his disciple so that we can know the Dharma. Clear? So the sutra is not only just for chanting. Why you want to chant the sutra? Because we chant the sutra is part of our how to nurture or foster our religious spirituality. Most importantly is the meaning of the sutra. So we understanding the meaning of the sutra, when you chant, it's more meaningful. You know what you are chanting. What is the purpose of chanting? Okay? You see, in the past when I was young, we chant without knowing one, Because you want to listen to Dharma talk or Dharma classes, it's very rare, not common in the past. But nowadays, in Singapore, very common. They got Tibetan Buddhism, they got Theravada Buddhism, they got Mahayan Buddhism. And the student asked me, how about here? Of course, here I can tell you it's a Mahayana Buddhism. But although we say Mahayana Buddhism, but it's actually related to Theravada Buddhism. Right? It's developed from Theravada to Mahayana. Okay? In terms of history, in terms of teaching. Okay? So that's why I told you already, if you know the Dharma, if you attended the Dharma class, and you know what I'm talking. Okay, so now back to your textbook, page 45. Okay, so I just give me 1 minute, just to recap, and also want to highlight to you the gist of this chapter, the first chapter, before they start the content of the Dharma, what Buddha is going to deliver his teaching to us, right? So the gist of this one is to tell us that once even you became Buddha or become enlightened one, everything is normal. You still have to eat, still have to wire. Your behavior also normal. Nothing different. The difference is you are free from suffering. In terms, actually, the mentality, like mental one, in terms of affliction, fun now, you are free from suffering. And that is the difference for ordinary people. Other than that, everything is normal. Clear? Very important. Okay? So, whether you're enlightened or not enlightened, you know yourself one. And you don't need to tell people. You need to ask people. People can check yourself, how is your behavior, whether you are still very hot-tempered or whatever, hatred, greed, hatred, ignorance. We call it 3 poisoners. These are the affliction. 贪嗔痴. And greed, a lot of people greed, right? Greedy, very greedy. And this end up with suffering. You see people buy the 4D, also due to greed. Right? You go to Sentosa or whatever to gamble or whatever, resort. This one also due to greed. Even greed got good and bad. Even you come here also greed, You are very greedy because you want to learn the Dharma. This concept, but this greedy is good one. Just like karma, there's a good karma or bad karma. Action doesn't mean that nothing is, mostly a bad one, Of course, you scold people, you kill people, this is bad action. Bad deed. There's a good action. Good. You come here to learn the Dharma, good. But having said that, still considered imperfect because you attach to it. There's a Dharma for you to learn. Okay? And this Qing Dharma Sutra will tell you, at the end of the day, even you have to let go the Dharma, let go, 放下. And this is called emptiness or emptiness. That's very profound, right? There's a term called ultimate emptiness. All right? Ultimate emptiness, or we say emptiness or emptiness. All right? 空空, 头壳空空, 你知道? So this is 毕竟空 in Chinese. Means emptiness. That means you have to let go the concept of emptiness at the end of the day. But the first step, you must know the concept of emptiness first. The next step, before we can let go, That's why in ancient India, Nagarjuna, the non-Buddhist schools start to criticize him as a nihilist. Nihilist? 虚无主义者. Nihilist. Nihilism. Some people pronounce it nihilism. 虚无, nothing. That people criticize Nagarjuna, Long Su Pusa. In the West, they give me a nickname, the second Buddha. Then after Buddha is the number 2. Number 1, beside number 1 Buddha, then he's the number 2. This shows that how important figure, right, in Mahayana Buddhism. Okay, so at least the gist for this chapter, so easier for you. So now, of course, according to the textbook, they will explain to you according to the sutra, sentence by sentence. Some, they do have some technical terms, we call it glossary in the behind one. I will tell you which page, so easier for you to go and search for it, wasting your time. Okay? Then we do have time, then I explain. No time, you just read up by yourself. Otherwise we cannot finish. Because this one for 32 chapters. All right? So you probably take about 1.5 to 2 years, probably, and depend my pace, how fast, I can teach. Clear? Okay, can you see the page 45? So last lesson, of course, he tell you the place, where Buddha live, and where he's supposed to go. And later on, they will tell you who are the people there to assemble before he will deliver a speech, the talk, And before you do that, because you go for alms begging, then you have to wash his feet and so on and so forth. So now, sentence by sentence in detail, they're going to explain to you according to the textbook. So page 45. Can you see the verse there? Together with the full assembly of 1,250 bhikkhus and a great many fearless bodhisattvas. So who are the people there? Just like now we are delivering the lecture, the student here, more than 100 students here, and also include the staff here and the volunteer behind. So they tell you how many people. They said, so exactly 1,250. Agak-agak lah, roughly lah. You don't go and do the research, must go and find out deep into it. I tell you, go to this kind of research, you cannot become enlightened one. Give you more problems. It's called attachment. This shows that it means the number of people there are many, a lot of people. Okay, and who is going to give a talk? Buddha, no, very important figure, no, definitely can attract a lot of people, no, not me, no, 小猫2-3只, no, only few people. Usually Dharma talk, not many people one. You can go other temple and see. Dharma talk, Dharma lesson, not many people, but chanting a lot. Why? They are superstitious. They are seeking for external power. God, Buddha, help me. Just like I went to the church, in England, I went to the church. They chant the holy song, just like we chant the Guan Yin Pusa. They are very emotional one, They raise up their hand, not you chant, Namo Guan Yin, ICIC, half day. They are very passionate, 很热诚的人, go. Wow, they raise up their hand, 跳档, like medium 跳档. And you can see the contrast, Buddhist and Christian people. Right? If you don't believe, you go to City Harvest Church and see how they sing the song of Bible. Not saying we are no good, they are good, but this is the fact. Now, how can they behave in a different manner? Because a lot of Buddhists very introvert, very negative. They thought they understood from the teaching. Buddha said cannot smile, cannot do this, cannot do that. So they are very obedient one. They listen A equal to A. Yeah, must say B must B, C must C. But you don't go and trace back to ask why A is A. Or A, why become B? It's just that this chapter, you must ask yourself, why Buddha go and tell me this? I want to listen to the Dharma. You tell me, say you go to this place, you go for alms begging, then wash your foot. rubbish. You tell me this one, I know already. But you must know the meaning behind why you do that. Correct or not? So you overlook it. You are very keen for the Dharma. Why? You don't want to attain liberation. These are all wrong concepts. But here, now, I want to tell you what attitude you should have, and you can really understand the true Dharma in Mahayana or in Buddhism. Okay, this depends individual. If you just look at the surface only word by word, you must know the implication behind. What does it imply behind the scene? The wording, if you are very good in English, if very good in Chinese, of course you know the meaning. But this is the surface on the meaning. But what is the implication behind? What does it imply behind the scene, or the meaning behind the scene? You don't know. That you have to cultivate the Dharma. You have to put into practice, then you gain the experience, so that you know the surface of the meaning through the wording is only 50%. You only understand the most half only. But another half, you need experience. We need to practice the Dharma. That one cannot tell you one. That one is very depend on individual you. I can tell you my experience, but doesn't mean that you can really follow accordingly. Correct? No? Different people, different life experience, so on and so forth, different background. But it's just like learning the mathematics in the school, you know the equation. You must know the equation, how to divide the equation, mathematics. So you can plug in any figure or alphabet or whatever, so that you can solve the problems. If you know the equation, anything you plug in, put in, you still can come out the result. And this is the same logic. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why you want to come for Dharma class. And that's the reason why I want to tell you the Dharma for sharing. And different speaker, different experience, different way of doing, I don't know. Right? So you see the Diamond Sutra, a lot of people talk about Diamond Sutra. But different people taught it in different way, because they are due to the different understanding. Got profound or deep or very shallow, or just on the surface, depend on the speaker. Okay, so back to here. Now, so bhikkhu, this is a Sanskrit word, or can you take a look on the PowerPoint here? A Chinese called bichu, bhikkhu, okay, or KKHU, Pali. Sanskrit and Pali different in pronunciation. All right? Sanskrit, you have a retroflex, juan se, your tongue, and Pali, no, without retroflex. Bhikkhu, bhikshu, bhikkhu. Or Pali, Sanskrit, right? It's an ordained male, people like me, right? In Buddhist monasticism. Okay? So male and female monastic are members of the Sangha, or we call it Buddhist community, Shen Tuan in Chinese. Okay? So the life of all Buddhist monastic are governed by the set of rules. Just I come here to study, the student here, you must abide the rules and regulations. We call it games, play different company, different rules, different organization, different rules and regulations, right? Just a different play, different game. Okay? And this one, we call it Pratimokha or Pratimokkha, right? Sanskrit and Pali. Okay? So, minimum, when you talk about Buddhist community, minimum 4, consists of 4 members, according to Master Yin Sun. Some, they say 3. Different saying, different version. Some say 3, but according to Master Yin Sun, at least 4, minimum 4. We call it Sangha, Shen Tuan. Right? Okay, so 100,000, 250, and the great fearless, many fearless Bodhisattva, Pusa. Okay, so what is Bodhisattva? Of course, if you attended the class, you know already. Pusa, Bodhisattva. This is in Sanskrit. So in Buddhism, a Bodhisattva or Bodhisattva is a person who is on the path towards Bodhi. Bodhi is Chinese called Puti. This is in Sanskrit word, Puti. Means enlightenment. Enlightenment, 觉悟. Okay? That's why Bodhisattva means enlightened being. In English, enlightened being. 觉悟的有情众生, enlightened sentient means. We are not enlightenment, right? We are considered sentient, normal, ordinary people. Right? So this is the difference between ordinary people and Bodhisattva, Pusa. People like Guan Yin, Siddhigarbha, Dijang Pusa, Manjusri, Wensu, and so on and so forth. So, path towards Bodhi and the temple of Buddhahood. Okay? So in Mahayana Buddhism, now if you know the history, actually in ancient India, originally don't have Mahayana, also called Theravada. No such difference, all in one family. It's when the Buddhism transmitted to China during Eastern Han Dynasty. Transmitted to China and was highly influenced by Chinese culture or their local religion, we call it Taoism or Confucianism, assimilated, because assimilated 被同化的. That's why it's called matching Buddhism. You know the history in Chinese Buddhism called matching Buddhism. So somehow rather they are influenced by the Chinese culture and so on and so forth. So they are trying to claim that it's not so pure, it's not from India. So a lot of some Theravada Buddhism, they don't recognize Mahayana Buddhism is actually teaching, it was spoken by the Buddha. I mean, some of them. Okay? 大乘非佛说 in Chinese. Alright? So this is called Mahayana Buddhism. But if you know the history, they are related. Right? Mahayana is developed from Theravada Buddhism in terms of history and teaching. Okay? The doctrine. So a bodhisattva refers to anyone who has generated bodhicitta. Citta means mind, puti-xing. Right? Citta in Sanskrit. Citta, right, means mind. That's why in Buddhism, because, especially with, they will involve some Sanskrit Pali term and so forth, But luckily, we will not expect you to really know Pali. We are not really going to chant the Pali Sutra or in Sanskrit and so on and so forth, right? But if you want to read the original text, then of course you must know Sanskrit, in order to know those written in Sanskrit, their meaning. So that's even more difficult. So, who has generated bodhicitta, a spontaneous wish and compassionate mind to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings, right? To benefit to all sentient beings. Okay, so back to your textbook. Now, 1,250. The numbers of the bhikkhus was made up primarily for the three Kashyapa. Kashyapa is a quite eldest disciple of the Buddha, also considered one of the 10 chief disciples of the Buddha. Now, you can refer to page 450. Who is Kashyapa? Behind. Okay, can you see at the bottom one? Kashyapa, Jasa. Chinese called Jasa. When you see go to some temple, you can see center is Shakyamuni Buddha. Beside the Shakyamuni Buddha, one is Ananda, the young one. One is the look very old one, the eyebrow very thick one. The one is called Kashyapa, Jasa. He looked very serious one. Okay, but he's the chief, one of the disciple of the Buddha. Okay, so one of the Buddha's foremost disciple and noted for his practice of austerity. Austerity means 苦修 lah, just like ascetic, asceticism. Torture yourself, don't sleep on the bed, sleep under the sun, and don't take shower, that kind, and so on and so forth. And now you can see even in India, if you go to India for pilgrim, your tour, right? You go to Ganges River, whatever, surrounding the river, you can see those non-Buddhists, they're still practicing, right? It's called austerities, 苦修. His conversion by the Buddha, of course, later converted to a Buddhist. Conversion of the Buddha 3 years after his enlightenment marked an important expansion of the order, as he and his two brothers brought with them 1,000 of their own friends and disciples. Right? They brought so many people. He is also honored for the first Indian patriarch of Zen. Right? Of course, in Buddhism, talk about Zen Buddhism. One of the 8 schools in Chinese Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, or called Chang. Right? Okay, so turn back to page, just now the text, page 45. So this is Mahakasyapa. So here it's quite natural for the elder of the three, whatever, or Mahakasyapa, to assume leadership for the first council. After Buddha passed away, attained Nirvana, there's a 3 council. Some people say 4 council, 5 council. And this council is called assembly. To gather all those Buddha disciples to have a meeting to discuss how to compile the Buddha teaching, But of course, during that time, there's no, paper, or recorder or handphone, right? They usually use the mouth and they try to record it down. So the first one, of course, we always talk about 3 baskets in Buddhism: Sanzang, Sutra, right? Vinaya, and Sastra, Qing Li Lun. But this is actually not in sequence, Of course, this is actually what people always talk about. Sutra started from Sutra, but actually started from Vinaya. Start from the precept first. Okay? So here, you see, assuming the council, for the first council after the Buddha Nirvana, in addition to assembly, also includes Shariputra. You can see who is Shariputra, page 461. You take a look on this one, 461. Can you see the Shariputra, 461? 舍利佛. This is also considered one of the 10 disciples of Buddha. Who is he? Among the Buddha's first disciple and foremost among them in the wisdom. 智慧第一. The Buddha 10 disciples have a different expertise. Some very good in wisdom, some very good in realized emptiness, some very good in spiritual power, and so on and so forth. Right? So altogether 10 represent. You say why 10? You don't ask me. In terms of number, you don't go and don't waste your time. Just like you say, why only 1,250? Why don't 1,000? Why don't 2,000? And so on and so forth. Right? So all these are conditions just to show you a lot of people. That's all. Okay, this is called Shariputra, 舍利佛 in Chinese. Okay, go back to just now the page. And the other one, Bhagavayana. This is page 455. Another also Buddha disciple, Yasha, page 470. So now you don't waste time already. We just skip this one. So you just put a remark. So when you go back to go and see who is he. And the disciple. Thus, by converting these 6 men, because initially these 6 are not Buddhists, considered non-Buddhists, right? White Tao. So this is how Buddha convert him. Okay? So the Buddha attracted a group of 1,250 disciples who were present at many of his sermons, because Buddha gave a sermon, 传教. Okay? Can you turn to page 46? Now, bhikkhu or bhikshu. Just I told you already, right? The bhikkhu in Chinese. Although their Sanskrit term means one who begs, 乞士, go for alms begging. But it's not beggar. You cannot treat them like beggar. So we call it alms begging. Of course, it's not common practice in Singapore. But if you go to Myanmar, if you go to Thailand or the Laos, those Theravada Buddhism, those countries, you can see early in the morning, people queue out, and go to the road and go for alms begging, house by house. You cannot skip one, bypass one, You must give people a chance to offer because they want to accumulate merit. You cannot say, I don't like char kway teow, tomorrow I go to the other one. Skip B. B always char kway teow. I hate it. I jump queue, go to C. Because C got chicken rice. No, chicken rice sian already, Tyler. I want a chili crab. So I go to D. Alms begging, they can eat meat one, right? For Theravada Buddhism. See, only Theravada Buddhism and Tibetan Lama, they used to eat meat. But not for us, as a Chinese Mahayana Buddhist, we are fully vegetarian. And so what is the reason to have a vegetarian? Is to foster your compassion. 培养慈悲心, right? Compassionate mind. That's important. Of course, if you have a vegetarian, it's good for your health. You see, now people are very particular about the health, right? You have a good health. So the food you take, they are very cautious one. And government also encourage you to don't eat so much of spicy food like contain sugar. Those drink contain sugar, they are under control, under NEA. So government so good to take care of you, So make sure the sugar content is not so high, Why not? And so on and so forth. Now, so back to here. Now, those who are back, It also means one who eliminate evil. These are more important. People like us, because this means you cultivate the Dharma and you eliminate all those, mental defilement, 烦恼, we call it affliction, right? In terms of here they talk about evil. All these are we call it Mara, all right? In Sanskrit, Mara, more, all right? In Chinese, Mara, M-A-R-A, in Sanskrit. Okay, so the terms for nun, right? For nun, Bhikkshuni is Bhikkhuni. Very easy to remember. Ni, like girly, and ni, that one refer to female one. And Bhikkhu, of course, refer to guy, male, Bhikkhu, right? So although monks alone, right, are mentioned at the beginning of this sutra, nuns as well as lay people and lay women are listed among those present at the end of the sutra, and nuns are also present, at other assembly that make up the Mahaprajna Paramita, sutra. And this one, what is Mahaprajna Paramita? 大般若经 in Chinese. You want to know this sutra, you turn to page 453. Page 453. Okay? Can you see? Let me see. 453, correct. Can you see on the come from the bottom, the second one? Mahaprajna Paramita Sutra, or third one. Let me see. Oh, yeah, at the bottom, sorry, at the bottom. 大般若经. This collection includes 16 sutra, or 3/4 of all perfection of wisdom scriptures. It was translated by Xuan Zhang. Xuan Zhang, right? He went to India, Master Xuan Zhang, Xuan Zhang Dashi, very popular figure, right? And his disciple in 660 to 663, and completed 3 months. He said for 3 months before Xuan Zhang died, before he passed away. So its comparison is said to have begun as early as the 2nd century, right? This is according to the history. And this is called the Mahaprajna Paramita Sutra by Xuan Zhang, translated by Xuan Zhang, right? The great master. Okay, go back to the textbook. Page 46. Okay, the rest read by some. Next one, Bodhisattva. So next paragraph, depending on the interpretation, one who gives sattva. Sattva means being, B-E-I-N-G, or sentient beings, 众生. This term means spiritual warrior, or spiritual being, which is the more common, if less interesting interpretation. The term originally referred to ascetics of various religious traditions, but was eventually taken over by Buddhists, because Buddhism was appeared in India. Before that, there's a Brahmanism, Hinduism, and so on and so forth. So they are also more or less like somehow rather influenced by them. So therefore, you can see those like Buddhist terminology, like karma, and so on and so forth. This is not original term of Buddhism, right? By Buddhism, because they are borrowed from Upanishad. We say Upanishad, Vedic, 4 Vedic, Veda. They borrow the terms from there because it's easier to benefit, there are sentient beings there in India. Just like, Buddhism transmitted to China, somehow or other you have to borrow Chinese terms to explain Buddhism, the Buddha teaching. That's the reason why those Theravada Buddhism, they claim that Mahayana Buddhism is not spoken by the Buddha, because he already, it's not original, right? It's not original because he somehow already used the Chinese terms to explain, the Buddha teaching. Okay, so that is their perspective. Okay, but as you know, the language is just a tool. It's not the goal, right? It's just to make sure that we understand the thing and how to communicate. But it's a tool, 工具, so we don't attach to it, right? Okay, next paragraph. So throughout this sutra, Bodhisattva, right, is modified by Mahasatra, which I have translated as fearless. According to the author Red Pine, it translated as fearless, without fear. 无恐惧 in Chinese. So normally, Mahasattva is interpreted quite literally as great being.
great being, right? Bodhisattva is a great being. Our is just an ordinary being, right? We are full of suffering, right? Bodhisattva because have a compassionate mind, compassion, right, and the wisdom. Okay, that's different. As Puna does in the Perfection of Wisdom in 8,000 lines. Now, so when we talk about wisdom, the perfection of wisdom, in the Chinese canon, they are written, recorded in a different sutra, different way. And this one is called 8,000 lines. So you can refer to page 458. We take a look on this one, 458. Can you see the second one? Perfection of Wisdom in 8,000 lines. 道行般若经. So during that time, we're talking about the Sutra of Wisdom, Perfection of Wisdom. All right, 般若经. There are different versions. They got 8,000 lines. They got 18,000 lines. They do have 25,000 lines. All right, so there are different versions of the Sutra of Perfection of Wisdom. Now this one called Perfection of Wisdom in 8,000 lines. Chinese called 道行般若经. All right, during that time, we talk about wisdom, prajna. Okay. So this sutra, this was translated into Chinese 6 times. The earliest of which was led by Lokasema. This is one of the translator. In 179 AD, entitled the 道行般若经, 般若经, right? They use the Hanyu Pinyin. It was also translated into English by Everett Consing. You know Everett Consing? If you are English educated, you read a lot of English textbook. If you read a lot of English textbook, and this is a very famous Buddhist scholar, all right, and he passed away already. Everett Consing, in those people, doing the research, those scholars, they will know this scholar. We call it Everett Consing. Very popular one. To make up for the corrupt portion of the foreign text, so translated 6 times already, right? Okay, please go back to the front one. The page 46. Okay, so those, we need every time go back, otherwise wasting your time. Those, I just highlight to you, then you can, I tell you the page number, you go back to take a look. What is this sutra? Who is the gentleman, the figure there, and so on and so forth. Okay, can you turn to page 47? You see, initially they'll tell the whole chapter, translated into English. So now they sentence by sentence in detail to explain to you, something like that. So this is the format was written by the author Red Pine. All right? Then the glossary in terms of Buddhist terminology, that will be at the behind. So I told you already, a bit academic. Right? They will tell you who are them, Hui Nen, or those scholars, what do they say, what is this sutra, and so on and so forth. Other than that, those textbooks, they will explain to you one. Straight away, blah, 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 something like that. So, well, I believe this one, if you're not interested, you just listen here, the other side out. You just want the meaning only, right? Now, if you want to know more, and this perhaps will, to give you more information. Okay, next, page 47. So one day, now I'll tell you the time. The place tell you already, Jetta Garden, and so on and so forth, right? The front one previously, and now they tell the times. One day before noon, Bhagavan, of course this one refers to Buddha, Po Che Fan, one of the 10 names of the Buddha, put on his patch robe and pick up his bowl and enter the capital of Sravasti for offering. Right, you prepare first, right? Arms full because I need to go back for the food, Then what should I wear? Patch robe. According to Buddhism, for for those monks, Chinese called San Yi Po. What they have for the monastic, the monks? Of course, they didn't really take the money according to Taoism. You cannot take the money. I tell you, very difficult. If you don't, inside your pocket no money, how can you travel to Singapore from Thailand, from Laos? You take aeroplane, you need to buy the air ticket, So do tell me, say you cannot hold the money. I tell you, very difficult one. Unless you got secretary, your misu, right? He's the one to help you to pay, help you to buy an air ticket. So you are really empty-handed, empty pocket. So you go to airplane, of course you sit down, just have people serve the food for you. So you don't take the money, I tell you, very difficult. So what is the purpose for this regulation, rules and regulation? greed because of greed. 怕你贪心 greed. You know. So that is one of the Pratimokkha, right? The precepts. So here, robes. You see the patch. People like you, if you receive the 5 precepts beside the Kui taking refuge, you wear the Kresa, Hai Qing, black color one. But actually, initially, not black color one. It's only transmitted to China, and China they decided, okay, black color for lay people you wear for chanting or assembly hall. Therefore, until now, all black color. Now, in ancient India, during that time, it's all white color for lay people. So which color you prefer? I prefer black color. Why? White color, you get dust very easily. People see you, ooh. Well, no, you have to wash every time. And black color, sometimes you can take cover, you wear for a year, don't need to wash. And people don't know. Well, no, you can cover up. You just wear the mask, cover up. Your mustache, you don't shave off, right? So a lot of people now still wearing the mask, You must know the meaning behind, Right? Of course, wear the mask to prevent the virus. Second thing, you don't need to make up. For girls, don't need to make up. Save money, just put it on, go already. Ha, 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 ha. And some people cannot recognize you, Who are you, huh? You look very familiar. Bye-bye. And then you go already. Good or not? So, things you don't see on the surface. Why people do that? There must be a meaning behind. Then why you come for Dharma class? There must be a meaning behind why you come here. Raining day, So cold weather, Sunday, You can sleep until 12, Why you come here early in the morning, 9:45 for the class? Stupid, must be crazy. Right? So everybody have an intention, the purpose of coming here. Right? So things don't just see on the surface. A lot of people just see on the surface. You must go investigate. Just like Sutra. You read the Sutra, why Buddha say so? Why he say that? Why do you say this one? Why say A, don't say B? And this, of course, I don't ask you to do the research. So if you investigate, you analyze the thing, you infer the statement, and this is how you generate wisdom. Of course, must include practicing. You must practice the Dharma in your daily life. Right? Don't just jump blindly or listen blindly, just everything absorb. So Buddha is a very democratic one. He's very open-minded one. During the time he gave a sermon. He said, okay, please, audience, you can ask me the question. You must think over whether my sermon is reasonable or not before you accept it. Right? So, not like other religions say, you cannot challenge God, you cannot ask the God, Almighty God, number one. So your number two cannot ask me, you cannot question me. But Buddhism different, right? You can challenge Buddha, you can ask the Buddha, why you say so? I don't believe, I cannot accept it, but you tell me the reason. If you're reasonable, okay, right? So that's a different Buddhism, if you compare with other religion. Okay, so back to here. Now, so this robe, that's what I'm talking about. They go for monks. We do have 3 types of robes. Basically, they have to wear these 3, then go to the road street to go for alms begging, to alms beg for the food, right? The patch, you can see the boxes one for us. You don't do without box one. You wear if you receive the 8 precept, you wear the brown color one. I don't know, man yi, you call it man yi in Chinese. You can see plain one. Of course, it's not black color, brown color. It's all plain. No box one. For us, minimum 5 boxes, 5衣, 我们叫5衣, and 7 boxes, 7 boxes 7衣, and 9 boxes 9衣. So these are the 3. So they do have a rules and regulation. During what occasion you're supposed to wear? Whether 5 boxes, 7 boxes, 9 boxes, cannot anyhow wear. So these are rules. If people like us, when I want to deliver my lecture, I give a Dharma talk or Dharma, just now I'm giving the lecture, I must wear this long robe, until here, And this one very troublesome, just a wedding skirt, Now I realize how you wear the skirt. You have to hold like that, otherwise you fall down. Then when you go up to the bus boarding, I have to hold like that. I was in Taiwan, nearly fell down. Then when you sit down, must cover up. You cannot like that. You cannot expose like that, inside what you wear. So I really realized those female problem must sit properly, must cover up, that kind of thing. So we know already. The guy don't care one, 坐落街邊試翹卡，shaking leg. You know. So you do know, actually this is our uniform, no? But you can see those monks, even they go out in Singapore, they say, the weather is very hot. Then you tell me weather is very hot, don't matter you naked, don't wear, no? Giving them a stupid reason, but you all don't know. Actually, you all don't know, I know. So now you know already, right? So when you travel MRT, you know, but you don't criticize them because they are monks or down there. You just stare at them. So they will scare. Silence. 沉默是金 You know, keep silent, but stare at you. So I know what you are doing. You know, so they dare not to, you know, to cheat you already. But you don't criticize in the public because not so good. Because they are one of the triple gem. You know, you respect the robe, not respect him or her. Okay? You know, recently Master Xing passed away. The Buddha Light Fo Guan Shan. I read the books. He said from his young, when he became monk in China, he came from a very, very poor family during that time, before he came to Taiwan. And this is what he told us in the books. He said, he always asking, am I a monk? 我是和尚吗? He kept on asking this question. All right? You don't want to, like those monks, never follow rules and regulations, anyhow wear, enjoying life, traveling, lead the follower, go to country A, country B, just a tour guide. Just a tour guide, you know. And you don't know, I said, wow, this monk very good, no? You bring me to all travel all around the world. Wow, 真好, 真爽, enjoy the world. But you spend a lot of money, right? So you know Buddhism, you know the Dharma is good for you, you know. How you show the respect to the monastic. What is your attitude? Of course, you cannot read the precepts. 你不能看戒律的 right? Because they want to avoid you criticize monastic. 他怕你批评，所以你不能看戒。You know, you cannot read the precepts. Of course, you cannot read, but 你可以偷偷看嘛。You can read in your bedroom 嘛。Midnight 12 o'clock, nobody see 嘛。And you say you want to buy the Pratimokkha, the books, very easy to get it. Go to bookshop, pay only 嘛。You can get one copy already 嘛。You say you're not allowed to read, 偷看咯。But the problem is you can see, but you see, they scared you know already, but you criticize the monastic, so that's no good, right? But you don't criticize, you just want to know. And to me, it's okay, for you to know, right? You know, actually you're helping the monastic, Because sometimes they may go to the wrong path, right? So you highlight to them. Of course, you still show the respect. So it's good, People like other people to remind them, very often. All right, thanks to forget. Okay, back to here. So before noon, dawn is when gods eat. You don't ask me, this is according to what they say. Believe or don't believe, up to you. Who eat, don't care. I know what I'm supposed to eat 3 meals per day. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and some people 5-6 meals per day. Why? Tea break. Oh, tea break. 10 o'clock tea break. Now 3 o'clock tea break. So 3 plus 2, 5. Right? Then supper, 6. So you see the stomach. The tummy is you see the Western people, so fat, just a submarine. I say submarine, 航空母舰. So big. Then you say want to 减肥, want to slim down. Yeah, I did a lot of exercise, yoga, whatever, meditation, exercise. Yeah, you done a lot. But still put on weight. Why? You don't know what is the reason? You know what is the reason? 贪家啦, Hokkien. Greed lah, because you eat anyhow, eat a lot. You eat a lot, you exercise, no use one. Both must be together. You must be careful what you eat, then plus exercise. 2 are in parallel. This is called middle path. Then your weight will go down. You will slim down. You ask me, Venerable, how you do it? 10年如一日, zap. You don't ask me, I don't know. I did exercise. But this is probably due to the gene, I don't know. I eat a lot, I eat a lot. But must be sample. Karma. This is my karma. Wow. I worship to the Buddha, he cannot bless me on this one, right? Okay, dawn is when God eats. 神在吃的。Noon is when Buddhas eat 中午。So you see those lunch, the for monastic, you cannot exceed, must eat before noon, 11点半 Usually we eat 11:30. Some people eat 11 a.m. No matter how, whether 11 or 11:30, but you cannot exceed, more than through noon. 12点不能超过10点。过午不食嘛 Chinese call 过午。And this is actually they follow the Indian one, So Buddha eat at noon. That's the reason why we eat at 11:30. So that's the reason why I finished my class at 11:15. So you see, so don't just see on the surface. Why this is time very 怪怪的 9:45 我就 not say 10 or 9:30 right? Why 9:45 to 11:15? Sorry, I'm very selfish. I thinking more of myself because I want to go for lunch. Make sure around the time I can take my lunch, right? So I finish it, but also good for you. Right? So it's a win-win situation. Right? 双赢嘛 win-win situation. You also want to leave very early because you want to go to Orchard. I also want to go for lunch. So everybody got place to go. But you know where to go. You go to your own place, I go to my own place. Why not? Okay, so noon is when Buddhas eat. Dusk, evening, is when animal eat. Animal eat. According to this one, you don't ask me. Who eat, I don't care one, but just how, they say like that, we just read it. Midnight. See, people eat supper one, they 休息 supper. 夜猫子 Go to karaoke, dancing, disco night. Then after go for nowadays the news came out, they got the night bus, right? Travel one night. They find it very successful, A lot, 很多夜猫子 go for drink or whatever. So you cannot call taxi, you also cannot drive. You call cab, of course, they 代驾 they drive for you, right? Then you pay more. But now you pay lesser, right? Compared with those people fetch you one, right? The private car. Right? Now you take bus, shuttle service. So how much I don't know. The news came out. And the business is very good. They say very good. So you see nightlife in Singapore, you see, very popular. Right? That's why there's a word called Friday night fever. Okay, midnight is when spirit eat. Spirit eat. So 你吃 supper 小心一点 chili cat. Here, page 48, you see 圣照. 圣照 is a very important figure in Chinese Madhyamika tradition. Okay, in Chinese tradition, 中国 lineage, started from Kumarajiva. Now, if you talk about in terms of prajna or wisdom, the lineage, 它的传统, right? So started from Nagarjuna in India, Nagarjuna. Then his disciple Aradeva. Then another one called Pingala. Qing, we call it blue eye, green eye. Then branch out into two. This is a Tibetan tradition. And this one branch out into two again. Okay? Here, the founder in Chinese tradition, the first figure called Kumarajiva, 鸠摩罗什. Then followed by 圣照. This is in the textbook one. This is the one. The gentleman here. And he's very expert in emptiness, prajna, wisdom. Right? Chinese called 圣照. Something like that. Okay, so he comments, 圣照 comment, when food is cooked, this is when everyone has something, and when thoughts of giving, right, easily rise. So thus man begged for food when householders were preparing their midday meal. Just I went to Myanmar, last time I tried to see how Theravada, Pa'ao, Master Pa'ao, he have a branch in Singapore. Very old monk already in Myanmar. He's a meditation master. Then I went there for 7 days. And early in the morning, we wake up 4 a.m. Wow, very early, 3 or 4 a.m. Then we meditate for half an hour. Then you bring your bowls and then walk all the way down to the meat of the mountain because we stay in the mountain. I just want to experience, because for us, we need to beg food for alms begging because of Mahayanis. And you know, they go through motion, you have to queue out, you hold the bowl, you know, carry the bowl, then you beg for the food, you know. Then after you go back to your place to have a breakfast, then you wash your bowl, then you rest a little bit, then 8 a.m. you start go to the hall there to meditate. Whole day meditation, you know. Then there's a consultation hours, 10 a.m. morning break, we call it tea break or whatever. Then you still have to queue up. And you know, Theravada and Mahayana are different, no? Because they have to show the respect to the master. They have to sit down. They cannot talk to the master like that one. Not like you talk to me like that one. Cannot one. Then I stand, you sit down, you know, the other way around. You know. 我罚站呢. I stand for 1.5 hours. Then you sit for 1.5 hours. And shaking your leg. Oh, big shaking your leg. I tell you, actually, I don't need to stand one, you know. But my teaching, I like to stand and walk around, you know. And more likely, otherwise, 师父在那里逃靠我, correct not? And to them, it's different, you know. You must show the respect, you know. You cannot sit same level like them. You ask me, you have to squat down near them, you know. Anyway, it's a different practice. For us, we don't care, you know. That's a you cannot comment that because different kind of practice or whatever, you know. And this power master, then we ask, and during your meditation, if you encounter any problems, come across any problem throughout your meditation, then you consult him, no? Then I consulted him, no? He's a very good master, right? Very popular. I say, hey, Master Pao. I say, how come Master Yin Sun? I read the textbook. He say, oh, you need to reach the highest in the realm of formlessness, the kind of highest level, so that you can. Through meditation, then you can, this is how you generate the wisdom, you know. You say, no, to us, we don't need to reach so high level. You say, you have to reach the highest level, but Master Yin said, don't need, as long as you reach the peripheral concentration, there's a term peripheral. Chinese called 微道定. Not even in the first jhana, right? The concentration, first jhana in the realm of form, with this 微道定 peripheral concentration. 微道定. According to Master Yin Sun, more than enough for you to, you know, do contemplation in order to generate wisdom. But according to Pa Ao, he said, no. We say we must reach the highest one. So you see different version, you know. But he's very humble, you know. You see, smart people are very humble one. Those gong stupid one, how they can be see, you know. Oh, very arrogant. Arrogance is considered one of the obstacles. Why not considered one of the obstacles in Buddhism? And this Pao, just like Master Yin Sun or Master Xing Yun, very humble, or Master Shen Yan, Dharma Drum, they're all very humble one. 很谦虚的. He said, sorry, I cannot comment on Master Yin Sun or your Mahayana Buddhism. I don't know Mahayana. I know my Theravada. 你看他跟你这样讲了. So, 你排谁了嘛? Okay. So you know the difference already, right? So I travel all the way to the mountain, you know, because the whole mountain, from the bottom to the top, all come from all over the world, you know. Those bhikkhuni from Taiwan, then Singapore, Malaysia, all over the place. Then are more Western people. More, you know. Then, wow, you know, anyway, go and visit the place, go and experience it, how people do the meditation, right? So then now I can tell you, now I know the Theravada Buddhism, the way they practice, you know, meditation. Okay, back to here. Now, so, let me see. Okay, page 48. Page wrote just now say, okay, bowl. Then I go to bowl. Okay, jump to here, bowl. You know, must have something to contain food, right? Bowl. So the bowl or patra, who call the vessel of humility, okay? And the Vinaya, or rules of Buddhist order, establish limits as to its size. I told you different sizes, small, medium, large. So you eat a lot, you carry the large one, no? Just like your big size, you wear the large, you know? Then you size small, you wear the medium, you know? And even the small one, you wear the small size, no? So the alms bowl also like that, right? You eat a lot, you use the big bowl. So, in the Buddha's day, most bowls were made of iron in order to withstand being banged about during the constant wandering of the monk, because you carry along sometimes, you know, so more can be lasting one, you know. 耐得比较久。So, however, bowls of clay and stone were also used, right? And the Buddha's own bowl was made of purple stone. Wow, see, even tell you the color, no? Purple stone. So you don't get Chang, I want to follow Buddha. I go and buy the purple stone, you know. So you're so attached to it. Doesn't mean you use the purple stone, you are the Buddha. Yeah, you're the Buddha, but you are Bodha. Just like me, Bodha, Buddha, right? Okay, page 49. Offering, 供养. The Sanskrit term used here for offering in Pinda, which refers to any lump but especially a lump of food. In ancient India, the main staple, right? Glutinous rice. The Indian rice and ask the rice different one. I went to India. Actually, I don't like Indian rice. A bit rough, and dry some more. I mean, I personally don't like it, And we Singaporean, I don't know nowadays the Singaporean, because some people like the Thai rice. I was in England. I went to the Chinese market. I bought the Thai rice. They got two types of Thai rice. Thai rice slightly more expensive. The full grain one, 10 pounds. My time, 10 pounds. And the broken rice, broke into two pieces or whatever, broken one, 5 pounds. Wow, 50% lesser, no? You know what I buy, no? I bought broken rice because cheaper, 5 pounds only. It's about like 10 kg, same, everything the same. Only broken rice is broken rice, because in your stomach, no different already. Here, actually, you see, a lot of people very choosy one food. When you bite food in your mouth, the taste is different, the feeling different. Only this part different. No? Once you swallow in already, no feeling already. And even come up from behind, all the same. Research. So only this part different only. Correct? So for those very good in cultivation, they can go beyond that. They bite. To them, taster, just like you got the COVID-19, some tasters, 冇味道的嘛，你再bite, swallow in. So no different already. Whether char kway teow, whether chili crab, everything the same. Right now. So far so good. Okay, so we call offering rice, which is eaten with the hand by forming it into ball. The term pinda occurs again at the end of the sutra in the chapter 30. This one we'll talk about it. Okay, the rest you read up by yourself. Next. You see the verse? After begging for food in the city and eating his meal of rice, he returned from his daily round in the afternoon, because this is eat in the noon, right? Then he put his robe and bowls away, washed his feet, and sat down on the appointed seat. Now, of course, you do anyhow seat, right? People for your anyhow seat can, no problem. But seat always the same one. Usually, like brother always sitting there, because you happy already gets to it. You ask me to sit on the ulu one, not familiar one, 你坐得不安心嘛, so you cannot focus on the lecture, unless you really come late, anyhow sit, no choice. Right? If you have a choice, you go to your seat more familiar one, whereby you feel very comfortable. Then you can shake left and right, something like that. 我看到就是 fix one the seat. The brother also always sit there one. Sister always sit there one. And wearing the same color T-shirt. So as I told you, the uniform for the Dharma talk one, Sunday one, Diamond Sutra, this one. So in your cupboard, everything, Monday to Sunday, 7 cycle. We say 6 cycle, then repeat Monday to Sunday, Monday to Sunday, Monday to Sunday. You see, habitual 习惯了, habit already. Hey, don't laugh. I wear this one, always the same color one. But I got a lot of robes. It's just like I wear this old one more comfortable, soft, easier, and habit already. You say, 师父你没有衣服啊，很多 please don't buy for me. Right? So we call habit. It's just a habit. 习惯了. A sister always sit there. Last Dharma class she was sat there. So impermanent. Now because after the class promoted already, go to middle path. Initially it's one of the extreme. Too extreme. So now you move to the center, middle path. Good, congratulations. Promoted promotion, promoted, but not Arhat yet. Okay, so appointed seat. So after crossing his leg, he said, I can shake my leg. Crossing leg, because you see the Buddha, this is how he's full, the different gesture, the leg, can sit properly, secure your body. Just like when you do the meditation, three methods, I think the 3 ways for your leg to adjust your leg. Okay, adjusting your body, then he turned his awareness to what was before him. Okay, see the explanation below. Begging for food in the city. Of course, you don't go to those areas because city more people, right? People cook and people can afford to give. You go to the rural area, poor people. Yeah, of course you can go there, but happened that because his place near the city, so you go to the city to beg for the food. So it was a Buddha custom. It's a custom, 风俗习惯, to go from one door to the next and not to visit more than 7 household. 7 only, cannot more than 7. You don't ask me, I don't know. There must be a reason behind, Then if you go to 30 houses, wow, by the time you come back to your place, 12点半了, 12:30, then how to eat? You beg already, then put one side, cannot eat because it's over noon already. Correct or not? So it's 生活后嘛, 7 household, probably take about 10 minutes or whatever. If you go at 11, you got 1 hour for you to beg. If you go at 11:30, the most is 10 minutes, 15 minutes. You have to beg your place and you can eat within 15 minutes. Right or not? So all these are probably calculated already. So 7 household. So if you are fortunate, if 7 household give you a lot of food, wow, you really enjoy it. If you are really unfortunate, 1 piece of bread. So by the time 7 household, you beg all the food, you go back to eat, still feel very hungry, but sorry, no food at all already. You probably allowed to drink water. I mean, to them, but nowadays I tell you one thing, I saw a lot of Theravada monks, some of them, even they can eat during dinner. Not only just afternoon they cannot eat. Now they more open already. Right? So by right, but sometimes always by left. Right and left. Right? So, and not to visit more than 7 households on any given day, nor did he pass up the doors of the, of the poor and lowly in order to receive food from the wealthy and noble. Another one, let me see. Okay, this one you can read that. Okay, the rest, you see the below, Jiang Wei Long. You can refer to page 441. This is one of the lay people, Jiang Wei Long. He said one, for instance, he said, the purpose of begging is to conquer egotism and arrogance, right? Because you beg for the food for people, so this is actually to subdue your, arrogance. People say, I'm very arrogant. Please give me, you must give me the food. What should I go and beg for the food from you? Beg the food from you. But in Singapore, I heard it's very funny one. You're supposed to go out to beg the food, right? That's why I say humble, right? The kind of arrogant to get very arrogant. But in Singapore, I did saw one monk I don't want to mention. He stayed put, He stayed put in the temple. Then people had to bring the food to him, You see, defeat the purpose already. He's supposed to go, then directly become very arrogant. I call you, Brother An, tomorrow char kway teow. What time? 11:30. Sharp. Don't come late. Wow, by who? By crow. Crow had to crawl there, come there. Wow, by 11:30. So you give people, and you become very arrogant already. You just order the food, go to the restaurant, order the food. But you go out to beg for the food, it's different, They beg the food for me, 我讲的算数, I got buying power, And you must be more humble, I don't give you only char kway teow, bread only, roti. But they're very funny, and lay people do know. He still cook and bring the food to him. That's why. If you study Dharma class, you attend the talk, if I tell you, then you know. So you don't bully by the monk. That's no good for him. Of course, you nothing lost because you accumulate the merit but he created the bad karma. And it's no good, because you indulge him, If you still bring the food to him, 你纵用他, you indulge him, then you become very arrogant, then lazy, then just by phone call, handphone, Brother An, tomorrow, chili crab. Last time I went to the Geylang, got one Theravada one, and the student brought me, not my student, my also Dharma brother. He said, 我带你去看一个和尚南传的. That's not our curiosity. And that one, you know what he asked me to buy? Bak kut teh leh, because they can eat meat. Then I had to go buy bak kut teh. Then 我拿给他, tell you, just like Emperor on the King. No good. I hate this kind of thing. I tell one thing. You must be hardworking, a monk. You must be suffer. How can you enjoy life? 星云大师讲的嘛 we have to suffer. You must give a service, sacrifice to sentient being. It's like I give you the service, right? Sunday service 吧，不是吗？ I give you the Dharma 嘛 ，Dharma talk. Why stare at me? So you can use the word service. This kind of service 服务嘛，这个不是我讲的星云大师You can question him. He said one I think use the word service okay I give you the service. Do you like my service, sister? He said don't like. Oh, I better change my method, the way of teaching. Right now, so 我就看到那一幕的时候，哎呦 ，very arrogant. Just like you have to give me, then you have to kneel down like that. 哇，这哇，比皇帝更加难看Too much that one thing. I hate this kind of thing equality one. Who are you, man? I don't care. Who are you, man? Moreover, just a monk. If you go out, you cannot survive. No certificate, no degree, how to work. Just like you wear this one, people give you angpao or whatever. Hey, people like me got PhD, I keep quiet already, right or not? 学历也不考也是这个不是说我 criticize him, this against the rules 乱来一通骗信徒的。So you know something, you good for you, already you blindly follow gong 你知冇？ right or not? This called wisdom Otherwise, people say, all the monastics all lazy people one. It's true 人家说最懒惰的人是什么？就是出家人那 among the monastery 最懒惰的，不要讲，因为是别的。Stop here already. Okay, next return. Okay, the abode to which the Buddha returned, because you have to go there and back after packing the food, must go back go back home. Return was a monastic retreat of Jeta Vihara, page 450. You know this place? Built for him and his followers several decades earlier by Prince Jeta. 前面不是讲过了吗 by Prince Jeta and Sutata for the orders used during the monsoon season. Monsoon. Now, this few days, everyday rain, so cold, even dropped to temperature 21. Right now, so impermanent. And Malaysia, Johor, even worse. Flooded. You see, this one you must invest the money, Besides you have the money, no money, no talk. But you have the money, if the government don't spend, don't have the foresighted, no corruption, plan beforehand, just like Singapore, you build up the drainage, guide the water to the reservoir, whatever, to the sea, then you can try to prevent. Sea level also go up, those stay in the Manipur Farm, East Coast one, right? And you better be careful, must know how to swim, If you get flooded, then you must swim here for the lesson. No MRT for you. Quite So anything can happen, right? So, so we are very lucky. But this one I tell you, if you want to do, then you spend a lot of money. Besides planning, spend a lot of money then who want to do that? Because government keep on changing one. Right? Well, Singapore, so far so good. But you say, no democracy or whatever. But that's why give and take, got good and bad. What you want, It depends on what you want, You want to keep on changing one, then very difficult. Right? This is my term as a president or what, I do it. I don't want to do it 4 years only, 8 years. I do already. People enjoy, benefit the fruits from what I did before. Who want to do that? 做了你可以戏nothing to do with me already, nothing hurt. Right? So everybody have this kind of attitude. Then who suffers? The people suffer. If you ask me, my personal view only, you see, I tell you this one, sometimes tell the politics or whatever, it's related to Dharma one, I'm not talking nonsense, It's good for you, You say, then you go and diam, So the Dharma talk is not chanting, 不是念经, It's good for you. And you learn a lot, give widen your knowledge, because of 什么都看的嘞, 报纸 whatever, journal, I went to start overseas studies, so I sing a lot of things, different culture, whatever. So I share with you. I'm not like you go there for tour 1 week, 2 weeks, I stay 5 years, for my PhD in England, So I know their culture, British culture, I know how Western people thinking, Just like America and China, now they have a conflict. And Chinese now change the new foreign minister, and that minister was an ambassador in United States. And you appoint these people to a foreign minister, it's good for China because you know the Western people thinking. Especially now that America. They must know the Biden. What is next move? Like playing the chess, So you know already must prevention better than cure. And this politics nothing to do, we say, oh, nothing to do with Buddhism, you're wrong. Because Buddhism got talk about 4 kinds of repaying gratitude. One is repaying gratitude to the country, 报国家恩. But of course, it will involve politics, but we show the concern. This is my personal view. Okay, back to here. Okay, next, in the afternoon, in terms of time, afternoon, in the afternoon. The text is ambiguous here. It says, the Sanskrit, Pashkat, Baka, Pinda, Pata, literally means after eating food. After eating the food. However, since this is already expressed in the previous phrase by Krita, however, is it eating of his meal of rice? This second expression, according to this scholar, right, adjutant, you can refer to page 445, who is he? And simply, indicates time and was often used as a stock term to indicate the period of the noon meal. Anyway, these have people, they do the research, they say, should be like that, should be like that. Like usually the Dharma Sutra traditionally just tell you, then you just receive like that, no? But this one give you another choice, probably it's another things or whatever. But basically, in the bottom line, you must know the basic meaning of this sutra. That's all. But you want to learn more, and this is for you the additional information. Okay, can you turn to page 51? Next, put his robe and bowls away, right? Because he after bagging the food, after the lunch, he had to wash the bowl and so on and so forth, and put away. So the robe and the bowl are the 2 most important possessions for the monk of a monk or nun. I told you already. 3衣1钵 they say 3 robes and 1 bowl. 出家的没有什么东西的，没有钱没什么，照道理just only 3 robes, 5 boxes, 7 boxes, 9 boxes, and 1 bowl. This for you to wear, the uniform. Bowls for you to makan, to eat. If you don't eat, you cannot survive. And some people, Buddhists, they practice the Dharma, the whole day chanting Amitabha, don't eat or 1 meal per day. Depend individual, Whether 2 meals or 1 meal per day is depend on your health, It's just the purpose of this one is just to get rid of the greed, have a greedy, the kind of greed, tongue. But if you have poor health, my advice is not to take 1 meal per day. I was in Taiwan, 1 monk just ordained only 2 weeks only, and then he disrobed. Why? The body health not so good, 身体不健康. Then 1 meal he go and strictly follow the one, we call it asceticism, 苦修的 1 meal per day, only lunch, no breakfast, no dinner, And eventually you cannot take it because after 2 weeks, collapse. And the Buddha don't want you to torture yourself, right? Buddha talk about middle path. These are the one the extreme. People eat 6 meals per day. 小心 This is one extreme, Your health got problem, Then eat 1 meal per day or don't eat, also no good for your body, Right? 3 meals per day, just nice. Like me, I 3 meals per day. It's true, It's true. So sometimes it's something to do about food consumption, besides exercising, right? The things you eat also very important. But people cannot control because your mouth, you cannot control, right? You want to enjoy what you bite, that kind of feeling very good. But I told you already, you swallow in, everything come out. Everybody the same. Okay, so this putting the rope and bowl away. Next, wash his feet. I told you already, just like in the mosque, you have to wash you see the mosque, outside the mosque, a lot of water hose. The one for you to wash the feet, 水卡嘞. They wash already, then they can enter the hall, But Buddhism don't have this kind of regulation. Right? But of course, now they say to get rid of the dust or sand or whatever. But if you wear the sock, everything, then okay lah. If it is a purpose, then you say, I'm wearing the sock, the shoes, nothing wrong. But if you're wearing slipper, another story, Just a Buddha, Buddha barefoot, Bo Ching Gu Wei Tuan, That's even worse. So I tell you, those wear slipper one, better be careful, including me, Okay, next. Sit down on the appointed seat. Don't anyhow sit, got number 1. But here we didn't put the number because you already have your own seat already. Right? So we save a lot of trouble. Okay, appointed seat. This one, nothing. Okay, at the below one, count from the bottom, the third line there. Mahaprajna Paramita Sutra. I told you already, this one at the page 453. Okay, another sutra also, at the end of first paragraph, the third line, come from the bottom. Perfection of wisdom in 700 lines. That time is 800 lines, right? So this is at the page 457. You can refer to behind one. Okay, can you turn to the next page, page 52. Wow, going to thumbs up here. Okay, we talk about this one first. Cross his leg. You know the meditation got full position, full one, the leg just like Buddha like that. But that is for young people easier. For us, you cannot move around because so not soft enough, right? So you can do sampan, just half of it can. Or people like you, sitting meditation, and you hold your hand to your thigh there, you push inward, then your body, keep your body straight. Otherwise you like that. You bend your body. This is called sitting meditation. In fact, Theravada will talk about Vipassana meditation, they are very good, very popular in meditation. But I tell you, in Mayan Buddhism, 天台止观, I talked before outside, they want really teach you how to learn meditation. And also got a theory, 10 chapter, 天台止观 by Master Zhi. So that one also very good. In fact, for 天台one, it's just like what Theravada taught you before. All these are very basic one. But now this is a Dharma class, no Dharma lesson, no meditation. So next time got chance, I tell you more. Okay, back to here. Cross his leg. To sit cross-legged is to assume the meditation posture, whereby one's circulation of energy is more easily and more powerful focus. In addition to crossing one's leg, one's back is also aligned, and one's gaze is fixed on the space before one's body. It's probably easier for you to do contemplation and more comfortable. That's why I say 调身调心调息 in 天台. All right, in Chinese Buddhism. So one is how to regulate your body, your mind, and mind, body, and breath. So these things will affect your meditation in terms of focusing, how you do the focusing. Okay. Anyway. Okay, the other one, the second paragraph, they quote Jiang Weilong. This is another scholar, what he say at the page 441. So you go back to see who is Jiang Weilong. And the other one, also next paragraph, it calls Xu Fa, page 448. This one, he also said something. Okay, Xu Fa. For instance, this Xu Fa, what he say, the Buddha puts on his robe and take up his bowl and uphold the precepts of morality. Okay, he washes his feet and take his seat, to enter meditation. Wash everything, you think they're more comfortable, then you do the meditation. So does morality give birth to meditation and meditation to wisdom? 戒定慧 in Chinese, 3 study. Also by entering the city with his robe and bowl, he goes from the nominal into the phenomena. Okay? And so on and so forth. Okay, time's up. We stop here. Now, next lecture, we should be able to finish this first chapter. Then we go to the second chapter. But you still have to, when you come into the classroom, you can borrow the Chinese Sutra. All right, you borrow from the counter there, then you return back to them after the class. Anything you want to ask me? Anything? Any problems? Okay, if no, as usual, shall we do a dedication? Please see the PowerPoint if you know the phrase here. May all the merits thus accumulated be dedicated to all sentient beings. May all sentient beings and I together attain Buddhahood. Okay, please stand up. Okay, please hold the palm. 1 pound to the Buddha. Okay, see you on 19 March. Okay, enjoy your lunch. Bye.